This is still February 9th, 2026. In the beginning of the case, they had these scenarios. Okay. One of them, they said that they were scattering for brides for a king from another country to redo his harem and what he wanted. Remember Officer Mark, the king from the other country, scattering for brides for him. Remember? Do we remember? How much you want to bet? Because that Henry Moffey, that Will guy, whatever his name is, he is a human trafficker. He is a drug dealer. He is a serial killer, serial rapist. He wants another woman. He wants a beautiful one. Just grab her. They sell people, kill them all the time. They kill people for a living. So, even though the other girl's in another cartel, she's 300 pounds. Why would he date her? Why would he pay her to date? Why? Pay for her to lose weight? Pay for her to have face surgery? Oh, she means so much. She don't mean much to he doesn't have normal human feelings. There's an alternative motive. So she's going to be sold, and probably not only to the highest bidder, but she may be a future bride of one of the kings, where he's redoing his hair. Remember how they said they were scattering for brides? The weird mail order bride thing? Remember? Because hurting somebody in front of people is morbid and satanic. You don't show somebody you love them and how great and powerful you are because you can hurt somebody. That makes you a coward. That makes you a coward. You're beating up a 50-year-old woman under drugs in her home. Come on now. That makes you a coward. That's not even, she can't even fight back. She's all drugged up. That's a coward. That's not showing you. But him saying and telling people that law enforcement, wouldn't touch him. Why does he think he owns law enforcement in this area? Where Dave said around September 21st, 18, Karen come to the end of the driveway. My girlfriend's rich and powerful. Her family owns the police. Why does this drug dealer think he owns the police? Why is he not afraid of you, Agent John? He told people he paid you off. And they repeatedly, over the case, said he paid you off. There was a young blonde girl. Now, the one Michelle that Dave was dating was pretty 18, blonde, long curly hair. Okay. There was another girl that showed up. Thin blonde girl, about 18. Hair about that long. Right about shoulder length. Super skinny. I mean like twig. Remember, she laughed that she was Will's daughter. She could control the cartel. She could have anybody drug, beat, and rape. She just had to ask those guys. They do anything she asks. That family controls the cartel. So why does somebody who can control a cartel not be afraid of the cops and feds? Were those girls in Walmart 62 today? Oh, Will was showing off for that girl how much she meant to him by proving he could harm somebody in front of the law enforcement and they wouldn't stop him. You hurt somebody and you hurt a 50-year-old woman under drugs in her home. That doesn't make you powerful. That makes you a sissy. And she didn't mean enough to him that where he was telling everybody, well, they'd say, Will considers Karen his girlfriend. I didn't know him. There for a while, I thought some of the investigators probably made it up, trying to keep people away from me so they didn't have to watch them too. No, here's that weirdo. And what's really disturbing, they used to say, we all know Will's the one that holds Karen at night. So he was one drug beating, raping me. So if she meant so much to him, why was he coming over raping me under drugs? Huh? They called him a serial rapist. So Agent John, even November 20th, 23, they were saying how you stole my money and you took a payoff the first day. How many times during the case? I told you, in Belden Village Mall, January to March of 19, there was a group of people. The one guy turned around and said, she's amazing. The lady said, she is amazing. He said, I could write a bestseller on what happened. I call it Karen's Prayers. A paid-off dirty agent. A man trying to kill his wife and men being shot at running. It'd be a bestseller. I want you to think about that. In January of 19, in Walmart 62, remember the truth. They'll try to implant lies. They'll try to steal everything you have in life. The agent is so corrupt, he'll try to steal your money. He's actually that corrupt. How many times, December 2nd, 22, that you stole it the first day? So why is this drug dealer, his daughter, So Dave was dating his daughter too? Think that they own law enforcement. And prove to people that law enforcement won't arrest a drug dealer running a drug scam on somebody. That doesn't show how powerful he is. That shows how pathetic. He's beating up a 50-year-old woman under drugs in her home. That makes you sissy. She can't even fight back. And you're beating on a woman under drugs. You're drugging her up and beating her and raping her. That makes you a sissy. Dear God, you didn't pull off a bank robbery. No, you snuck in some lady's house, you stabbed her with a date rape drug, a hypnotic drug, told her to say a bunch of stuff, and beat and raped her under drugs, and the poor thing couldn't even fight back. You think that's funny? That makes you pathetic. You had to beat up an old fat lady? In a skirt? So why does this drug dealer think the FBI, not only stupid cowards, why? And that all law enforcement is afraid of this drug dealer. And you do realize that heavyset Michelle, he's fixing her up to sell her. Now, we got to put some more common sense. This guy don't care about nobody. He sells people for a living. He kills people for a living. Where that girl with the shorter blonde hair, the twig girl, said she was Will's daughter at V Family Church. And she could have anybody drug, beat, and rape. She just have to ask those guys. The cartel guys that do anything she asks, they order them. So why didn't you arrest one of the head cartel guys? Agent John. You knew who he was, right? And you knew the doctor from before wasn't one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. You knew HIPAA laws. You knew they couldn't have one of my doctors, like Officer Mark said. They never fought for it. Because it would be illegal for any of my doctors to be with them. You knew they didn't have my medical records. You knew they couldn't get it. You knew they were scamming you. Why didn't you arrest them? They're just people Dave hired on his own to drug me up, and then the photoshopping and washing. July 25th, 25, an investigator in the morning said that they did a body ratio of the tape of Weird With Yourself. It is photoshopped a washing in the shower, but it's not even me. You put my head on somebody else's body. So, and people act like it's some fat girl. It's probably that Michelle washing herself, the heavyset one, being smart asses and put my head on her body, right? It wasn't even me. That's why nobody knew about it. It was a bitch move. The whole thing's a bitch move. But why is this drug dealer, this human trafficker, not afraid of law enforcement? Were those girls announced at Walmart 62 today? Will was showing off for that girl that lost all that weight. He paid for all kinds of face work. You wouldn't believe how pretty she is because she means so much to him. He had proof to her he's so powerful. He could have somebody harmed in front of law enforcement and they wouldn't stop him. Why is a drug dealer not afraid of law enforcement? Why is a human trafficker not afraid of them? Good question. The one that sold government technology? For Will found another way of making money off the case. He sold a login for $25 a pop. You know, a Canton police officer told me, she said, you know what? No matter what, you stand on that FBI case. All the evidence they got on those people and all the people they got, you stand on that FBI case and don't back down. Exactly. I'm going to upload this. But they need to realize he's fixing up that girl to sell. And if he is selling her to that king from the other country they talk about, see, they say weird things and then they actually come out. There's people that are doing it. Like, we all work for the king from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. He's a fentanyl king. There's a real guy. Like Judge Peters from Florida. There's him. That Henry Moffies, that Will guy. Hard telling what his real name is. You know, if you're afraid of a drug dealer, have ICE come here. And that Henry Moffies, he looks Middle Eastern. Because he thinks all law enforcement, he can pay people off. He can't pay off Trump. He can't pay off Elon Musk. That's comical. You don't have enough money in the world to pay those men off. And see, that's one thing. I know the FBI can see your medical records. I know they can. So did Agent John, you knew everything was fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors? Oh yeah, where it was documented, re-documented, verified when I got the medicine, I got well. And it was brought up as fraud. Re-documented several times over several years. Oh yeah. Did you know there was insurance fraud and some other lady using my insurance? Oh yeah, because I bought those bills. Yeah. You knew everything. I'm going to upload this.